We got our man Vintage Sports Shack. I was watching his video last night. What's up, my man? How are we doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic, fantastic. You were calling out the influencers. You were going strong on the influencers, and a little dance at the end. I don't know where we want to start. The dance move, which you clearly have a few of, or do you want to, come strong?
Whatever you want.
Well, whatever. What? Well, hey, that's what she said. I tell you what, let us know. What are you thinking about this card cleaning? What are you thinking about these guys in the chat that think we should be cleaning our cards and none of us should be asking any questions about that?
I think, you know what I think? I think it's a serious problem. What I think about is these high-end guys that got these, PSA 10 Mickey Mantles and stuff. They're the ones that are going to be pissed off the most. Because if you're taking Mickey Mantle PSA 8s and changing them to 9s and 10s, that's just a big difference. I think the big money guys have a say in this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So yeah, the people that have actually been in this hobby a little longer than a lot of these influencers have that you were talking a little shit on, on your video yesterday. If you've been in this hobby for a little while, you've already spent some coin on some Mickey Mantles. You already saved up a little bit of money and bought the high grade stuff. And now these guys are coming with their wax and their lube, and they're turning their lower grade stuff into the high grade stuff. And it's infringing on the cards that you have. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm a real estate appraiser, and I understand the theory of substitution. Technically, you do want all PSA 10s, but you don't want a bunch of them, if that makes sense. You don't want a PSA 9 or a them might as well be tore up and thrown away. They're worthless. And you want PSA 10s, but you don't want a bunch of them. So all it's doing is diluting everything. It's making everything worthless. So I just think that, and I send cards in, I'll go off. Because I'm not really prepared, so I'm sorry. I'm just going to talk. Okay. But I just think that it hurts the long-term guys. I got a cousin that's been in the hobby for 30 years, and this has been his passion. And even though I don't think that it's investment because of all of the crooked going on, all the bad shit, if everyone would have stayed pure, all the money he spent over the 30 years, he would have a little bit of investment. But everything he has is worthless now because of what everyone's done. He's one of them guys that stuck to it for 30, 40 years, didn't quit, but now his stuff's worthless because he never graded, so he'd have to put money in to grade his stuff. Most of his stuff probably isn't 10s, so it's worthless, his 80s and 90s stuff. So I just think it's bad all the way around. But I do think grading's important. I do think because condition does matter.
And it's almost with this card cleaning, that condition won't matter.
No, it doesn't.
A year from now, it won't matter, other than centering. Maybe it comes out of the pack uncentered. Other than doing a little trim job, it's hard to correct that to a big degree. But it sounds like you can correct a lot of these other flaws, and all of a sudden, condition won't matter, and everything will be like, oh, like you said, you're a real estate appraiser. The reason why the houses on the beach cost more is because there's a limited supply of the beachfront property. Well, exactly. All of a sudden, we're going to be sitting here a year from now, and everybody's modern Prism cards are going to be sitting on the beach. And is it really going to be that? Are we really going to be making that much money? So it's a lot of this short-term, short-sighted stuff. That's what I think. Vintage Sports Shack, you had a hot take. You had a big take on SportsCardDad. You were not happy with SportsCardDad. What's your beef? What's your beef with SportsCardDad?
SportsCardDad, that whole little trio of them, the way they act like they run the hobby. It's just embarrassing. I was really into them when I got into the hobby because you're fed into these guys' algorithms, fed into you. So, I followed them, and I had Dustin's back. He has a special needs kid. I had a special needs kid. But what? If you really want to know what was the straw that broke the camel's back, when he did that video in the robe copying SCV Sports, I just thought that was cringe. I just thought that was too much for me. So, I don't know. I'm just one of them guys. You turn my switch off, it turns off.
I hear you. What about Cardcollector2? I think you had you didn't share a lot of thoughts on your video about Cardcollector2, but do you have beef with Cardcollector2? You got a problem with them?
I did right at first. the first time I met him, he was in Shipshewana about a year and a half ago or so, and he was taking advantage of little kids. And I got on his YouTube when I first started my channel, and I started blasting him. And if you notice, he really has gotten a lot better. I didn't do it publicly, really. I mean, I did it right into his comments. I was like, dude, I was there when you ripped off that kid. You need to start doing this. Quit, you know, I mean, but I don't really have a problem with him. Besides, he's greedy, but, you know, anyone in a business should be a little greedy. So I don't really have a problem with people's business models. You know, you don't want to pay someone. It's the lying that I don't like.
How did Cardcollector2 rip off kids?
I don't know if you could say rip off, but these kids, they want to be in his videos. So you'd have a $20 card and he'll say, I'll give you $2 for it. And they'll say, yeah, you know, just because they want to be in his video, you know, and he did it to like a 5-year-old, you know, so it wasn't like a 14-year-old black carrying case kid. It was a kid. So.
And do you think he's gotten better at that? Do you think he's still doing this? Or
yeah, because if you notice, he asked them, what do you want now? He don't give the first offer price. He always asks them what they want. And if you give him a price and he says, yeah, then, you know, what are you going to do? He's not putting that price out there first. So I think he changed that. I think he knows that's the right way to do it.
What other influencers are you not a fan of? It sounds like you've changed your tune. It sounds like you're sour on SportsCardDad. Changed your tune a little bit on Cardcollector2. Yeah. Is there another influencer you're not a huge fan of?
I don't know if you guys heard of them, Sports Card Radio.
Sure. Yeah. I don't like those guys either. They talk, yeah.
You guys don't like them.
Topic. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm crazy as hell. I've been married 3 times. I go back and forth. Sometimes I hate AIH sports. Sometimes I like them. You ask him. I've said shitty things to him, you know, back and forth. So, I mean, it's just what day it is. I quit smoking 2 weeks ago, so I've had a bad 2 weeks with everybody.
That'll do. What is, are you currently married, and what does she think about the card drama and card collecting and cleaning?
I am not currently married. I am the president of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. I got a sign hanging in my bedroom. So after the 3rd one, I gave up.
You've given up totally? Are you still going on dates? Or like, how does that work?
I'm abstinent. I have 6 kids. I don't need more kids.
Wow. So you quit smoking and you're not going out with women. So
no sex, no smoking, no Mountain Dew.
Do we have alcohol?
I'm badass. I am tough.
How do you sustain that life?
West Side.
Yeah, that's how are you going to be able to sustain this sober lifestyle? Do you think you're going to have to dip back into the life of sin at some point, or what are your?
I've been abstinent for 5 years. So
is this by choice or
it's by choice? Trust me.
What's wrong with the women over there? Like, what's up with is it a bad quality of women? They're like PSA 2s, 3s, and 4s, or like what's the situation with the women out there?
No, I only date PSA 10s, but they seem to take all my money when I get divorced, and that's not a good thing anymore. I'm getting too old to do that.
So some of your card collection is sprinkled across 3 ex-wives, is what you're saying?
That's the only thing I really dragged through the whole thing. See, because I took custody of my kids when I got divorced, so they didn't get everything. I'm not stupid. Remember? I took custody of my kids. I got child support.
If you pay a consultation fee, we can hang out.
Oh yeah, Tim's an expert in women. So if you did want to dip back into the game, I don't know if you're trying to get back into the game, but certainly we could help you out there.
I'll get back in the game if she's like 25 and worth it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I
get back in the game, but all the women my age, have you seen a 50-year-old lately? I mean, come on.
Hey, our girl over here, Miss Dennison might be pushing. I don't want to divulge her age, but she might be pushing 40s or ish. You know,
I know, but let's be serious. Do you think she'd be into me? No.
It depends how much money you got. It depends how much money's in that bank.
Yeah. That's why I'm going back to work a little bit, because I need more money. I realize the women like money, and sports cards ain't where all the money's at. So
they don't think these cards are cool. They don't want a Kurt's Card Care box for Christmas.
No, it's kind of like the 40-year-old virgin. All my stuff's down in my basement. Upstairs is like all my expensive artwork and my Persian rugs. And no, I don't take them to the basement. Yeah, remember,
That's like
I'm not
the
stupid.
fourth date. Yeah, the fourth date, maybe you can take them to the man cage and show them some baseball cards, maybe.
Yeah.
Vintage Sports Shack, got anything else for the lovers and the haters of your content out there?
No, I've got calls with PSA next week with the fraud department. So I got some stuff coming up. I did call the FBI. I did talk to them for 20 minutes last week. Just general questions, wanting to know what laws were being broken, basically. You know what? And what I got out of them, PSA is the one with all the power. They're the ones being deceived originally. So they can turn in, and I'm sure they would if they got a card from, you know, $500,000, $1 million, and wanted to turn someone in to defraud them. They could turn them in if they got sued or something. I'm sure it's going to happen. So, but I'm excited to talk to. I don't want to tell the people the names, but I'm calling PSA May 2nd. I've got a scheduled couple calls, so that's coming up. But besides that, I'm just doing my thing.
That's
you gonna come back on here after your conversations?
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah, I can come back on. You want me to?
Yeah, we'd love that. And kind of fill us in on what they said and if they have any new details to share and just kind of how those conversations went. Because
here's my point. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't wipe down cards. I don't do anything. I send them in. And I spent $30,000 over this last year grading cards. And my question to them when I first contacted to them, explain to me how it's fair and how you don't owe my money back if you can't detect someone cleaning cards and I didn't do it. Now knowing that you can't detect it, I could have cleaned my cards, got better grades. Someone owes me money. I want to see what they have to say about that, because I mean it makes sense to me, but maybe I'm out in left field.
You still got some dance moves, boy. We got to take you out. We got to get you out, and I think we're gonna get the ladies all over you, all over Vintage Sports Shack.
When we were kids, we would. Well, never mind. I'll save that story for another day. So that's why we danced. So we always did when we were kids.
I'm telling you, I think the ladies are gonna love the dancing from Vintage Sports Shack. We're gonna come out there and find some bars around here. Whereabouts are you?
I am in Angola, Indiana. It's right in the Tri-County, Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana. So right in the middle of everything. 3 hours from Chicago, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Detroit, right in the middle. It's actually not a bad place to live if it wasn't getting cold all the time, but beautiful country.
I hear that. Yeah. There's probably some wholesome girls around there.
Yeah.
Look, we appreciate you calling in. Be sure to call us next week or when you have your conversation with PSA and let us know how that goes.
I will. All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, brother. We'll be talking to you soon.
See you.
That was Vintage Sports Shack.
Ladies and gentlemen.